Welcome to Tea Time with Bunky. This is message. Hi, Dan. All right.
Welcome to Tea Time with
Welcome to Tea Time with Bunky.
This is super recent.
Welcome to Tea Time with Bunky. I missed you guys. I really did. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tea Time with Bunky. Welcome to Tea Time with Bunky. I'm just waiting for my guest to log in. I would like to welcome all of my Tea Time with Bunky followers and subscribers. Those who have been with me from the beginning. It's a text from them. Those have been with me from the beginning. Those that are just learning about Tea Time with Bunky, I want to thank you. For those that don't know, you can follow me on the Tea Time with Bunky Facebook page. Don't go to my personal page. Tea Time with Bunky Facebook page, Miss Kanitha on Instagram, and Tea Time with Bunky on YouTube. I'm trying to get my YouTube subscribers up. So if you want to continue to catch it live, go to my YouTube, Tea Time with Bunky, live every Thursday at 8 p.m. Special shout out to Village Global Network. And it's because of the Village Global Network that my show is re-aired on the radio, Zeno FM, and you can catch that on Thursdays at 8 a.m. You can catch this show next Thursday at 8 a.m. on Culture Shock Radio, which is in Canada, Rockbox Radio, Radio Ficero in Mexico, WAP the Music FM, which is in Guadalupe, the Caribbean islands, Guadalupe, the Caribbean island. And on Fridays at 12 noon, Sundays at 12 noon, you can catch this episode. So Sunday, not this Sunday, Sunday coming up. You can always catch the repeat show on Confidence Radio. These are all on Zeno FM, which is a free app. Go in, download Zeno FM. So, and this is powered by Zeno FM with additional supports by Online Radio Box. So my guests, the founders of the Black Library, we have Douglas Schindler and Michael Davis. They're doing a screening right now. So they're about to log on called Aftershock, which is about the mortality during birth and delivery for African-American women. We know there's no balance. We know that we have a higher death rate because we aren't given the proper care and different things that we need. So they're doing that right now. But in the meantime, while they're getting themselves together, let me tell you a little bit about these two gentlemen. First of all, the Black Library is located on 418 Broadway, Monticello, New York. And you have Douglas Schindler, who is a painter and a photographer. You guys saw the video. You can go back when you rewatch. Rewatch. You'll know who they are. Douglas is a painter photographer. He addresses themes of violence, street life, sport, and community. His images center the underrepresented and overlooked. His paintings focus on figures, their actions, and their stories. Also, dumpsters, bikes, cars, clothing, and hydrants. We're going to talk about that because I want to know more about that. His inspiration comes from hip-hop lyrics and sayings from the Black culture, and his photographic prints celebrate underrepresented people in rural places. And he's been practicing artist since 2013. Next, we have Michael Davis, who is a Guyanese American photographer, which is different than African American. Guyanese American. He'll talk more about that. He's a photographer. His photos capture aggressive honesty, vulnerability, and strength. We're going to talk about that because I want to know more about that. His subjects embody with the sense of heroism and overt power. And he draws inspiration from old family photographs and new fashion trends to create colorful compositions of future yesteryears. And he aims for energetic and immortal imagery that can preserve his culture and community for future generations. So that's what the Black Library founders are about. They just won the Emergent 2023 Emerging Business Awards in Sullivan County, which is really a big deal. They were originally on Tea Time with Bunky on May of 2023 for a short period of time, and we had technical difficulties, so we had to reschedule it for today. And of course, I would pick a day when they have something going on, but it's the Black Library. So while I'm preparing for them, I can let you know that on Thursday, well, first of all, their hours are Sundays from 11 to 4. They're closed on Mondays. Tuesday through Saturday, they're open from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Except for, no, they have special events. Every third Wednesday, they have a sip and paint every third Wednesday. And from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. So those are the nights that, well, after closing hours, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And every second and fourth Thursday from 7 p.m., I think it's 9. I wouldn't think it would just be 8. I probably got that wrong. They have open mic night. So that's what's going on with the Black Library. I don't know where they are right now. I don't know where they're going. They're getting ready to, well, I might as well talk about it. They might have, on 127, they have an artist in residence group show closing. So they have a space where they have artists when they first open, they talk about they have a space that artists can rent, local artists where they can display their art and their talent. You guys should go to the blacklibrarynewyork.com and you can see everything that's going on there. It's really a fabulous venue and thing that they're doing here in Sullivan County. And I always talk about the location that they are, which is the old Key Bank in Monticello, which is a big deal. It's a big deal. And to see what they've done, the way they utilize the spaces, I've seen images of, we talked about, well, I had asked them and I see that they have it going on, but they have story time for the little kids. They have books that you can read there. I don't think you can take these books out, where people donate books, African-American culture, history, by African-American authors. Those are the type of things that they have in this library. Like I said, tonight they were doing a screening of the Aftershock. You can find that movie if you're curious on Hulu. It came out, I believe, last year. It's called Aftershock. It's really a telling story. It's a little shocking when you hear the stories, but it's common. It's what happens to African American women. They're not given the treatment, that is needed during birth and delivery. We are just waiting on them. For those that are on, I want you to hang around. The last 15 minutes of the show is where you can ask the guests a question if they get here. You can ask them any question that you want. If you ask a question during the show's airing, I'll star it and go back in case you're not here. So you can always go back, re-air, and see if they answer your questions. I'm going to text them now because I will close out. I sure will. But I understand they're busy. They have a lot going on. And I wanted to reschedule, but they said no. The Black Library, another thing, the way they describe themselves is the Black Library is a library and community art space focused on celebrating Black history and culture. I know they're stressing. Yes, they're running into some technical difficulties. Well, y'all, this is what happens when you go live. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. So that means they're trying to log on. I wish this is the time when I need music so I can play music. But if I play music, then what happens is I'll get shut down. So I can't play music because it'll get flagged. So for all you podcasters that are going out there, just a little side note, even if you put the little disclaimer up there, that it's just, you still will get flagged. Maybe not right away, but down the road, they'll look at it a year later and then you'll get copyright infringements and everything on you. So that's a little side note to you podcasters or up and coming podcasters. In the meantime, does anybody have any questions? Like I said, we're waiting for the guests to come on. They're having technical difficulties, and they were busy. They were busy doing a screening of Aftershock Random Thing while I'm waiting. Also, for those that aren't registered to vote, make sure you go out there, because I haven't been mentioning this. Make sure you go out there and register to vote, because this is a presidential election, which everybody seems to be really focused on. I was supposed to start Political Tuesday with Tea Time with Bunky, but I honestly haven't had the time. And watching what's going on has been stressing me out to no end. So I'm not even gonna lie about that. But for the people that aren't registered, make sure you get out there and register so that you can vote in the up and coming November elections. Know what's going on in your county and in your government. I can honestly say I've been slacking on this, but I got something from the Sullivan County Dems. So Sullivan County Dems, which for you Sullivan County residents that I haven't really been paying attention to, they are trying to build, well, it already went through. Between town of Thompson and town of Fallsburg. They're building a new town. And it's for, how can I put this in and not be wrong? The town is for the Hasidic community. And there is no judgment. There's no judgment. But we've seen what happened for those that live in this area, Bloomingburg and Curious Joel, people who haven't voted or in your local elections. And over the years, if you've been here for a long period of time, you've seen the gradual decline of where we used to live, what we've grown up seeing with all the forest and the animals and the fall foliage. All that stuff is being torn down. It's all being torn down, and they're building new little cities, new little towns. The buildings are built up on top of each other, and it's a mess. And there's right now nothing that we can do. Nothing that we can do about it. The town has been approved. I don't know. I'm gonna give it a few more minutes. So in the meantime, if anybody have any questions, you want to converse, this is what happens when you go live. Like I said, they were busy. They're busy. Now they're having technical difficulties. And if it's your first time ever really logging on to this, you can have problems. That's why I like to do a practice run through. So that, thank you, Rashad. Thank you for the heart, Rashad. And thank you, Damien. He was my last week's guest. If you guys didn't see that episode, it was amazing. He has a new documentary. The documentary coming out. I shared it on my page called I'm Sorry, Mama. And wait a minute, times fly. I'm going to tell you guys about that. So go to his page, Time Flies Brand. And it is called, wait a minute. Waiting for them to come on. It is called the Sorry Mama documentary. And it's the side of the people, it's the side of the parents, the mothers of the children who are incarcerated, what they go through. That's what that is talking about. It's deep, y'all. It's really deep. Go to my page. You can just see the little trailer for it. And I'm telling you, you'll be hooked in afterwards. After the lady starts talking, you'll be hooked on it. So that's another plug right there. Things that's going on. The Rec Boys, you can find them every Wednesday at 7 on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram as well. Let's Get Activated podcast, which is airing right now, you guys. All Village Global Network, a hip hoppy vibe. Samantha Bell, she's on Thursdays also at 7 p.m. She's on at 7 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook. She's not on Instagram. Finally TV, Tuesdays. I believe they're on Tuesdays at 7 on Instagram. Yeah. See, I don't have these written down. I'm basically winging it, but I'm giving a shout out to my Village Global Network people. There's so many more. So go follow Village Global Network. Also, there's a bunch of different avenues, podcasts. If you want to follow, talk about different topics, different subjects. A lot of them are hip hoppy. Call them hip hoppy. I'm not hip hoppy. So if you're interested in things like that, you can go there. Let me let them know. I'm probably going to log out shortly. Next week's show. Let me tell you about next week's show. While I'm waiting, I have Miss Donna Davis on. For those that have been following Tea Time with Bunky, I had did a show on the twins, Harmony and Symphony, two little girls. I did their little story, and they're little twins. They're little girls. And then I did the one with Loretta and Rosetta Pearson McNeil, another set of identical twins. And it's basically in the middle years, and they're young women still. They're really young. But trials and tribulations with that. And with Donna, I think this is going to be my last thing with twins because it's becoming a little bit too much. This one is basically when you've lost a twin. So I have the beginning, I have the middle, and now I'm having it end. So that's next week, you guys. That's going to be an awesome show. So we're going to practice logging in. That one we're going to practice logging in so that she'll be here on time, and hopefully she's not working and we're not going through anything. So those are those two shows. Donna. Trying to think. I can't think of any of my other shows offhand. But I just text them. We're going to give it like 5 more minutes. We're going to give it 5 more minutes. And then I am logging off because I can't do this freestyle thing. So if you guys have anything you want to ask, you want to talk about in the meantime, let's do it while we're waiting for them to come on. Once again, they're located at 418 Broadway, Monticello. And their hours are Sunday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. They're closed on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. You can go visit their spot from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's where my previous guest was on, Miss Shanita Atkins. The It's Genetics Project is going to be held there, which was another show. You can go back and watch that, which is it's fantastic. It's a way of families going back and tracing who they're connected to. Like how we always say, oh, well, that's my cousin. This was my cousin. That was my cousin. But half the time they're not. Just got it going. Hopping on now and it failed again. Sorry, we're trying to figure this out. How you're connected to people and you really don't know how you're connected. Right? Like I have a lot of people like that. They'll be like, oh, that's my cousin. That's my cousin. But in all actuality, they're really not my cousin. They were a friend of a family member like 30 years ago, and they connected and they stayed connected, and then they become a part of your family tree. Well, this thing is genetics. I mean, they go from place markers, from where you met, what family member is connected to that person, all of that, which is amazing. That's Sullivan County. Watch the show. You can get more information, full information from Shanita just by watching the show. So I'm waiting for that to set up. That's also going to be at the Black Library. Sip and Paint every 3rd Wednesday. And these are after their closing times. So it'll last until 8 or 9. So I don't know what's going on with them. You guys aren't talking back to me. So I'm really probably getting ready to end this. And I apologize, you guys. Technical difficulties. It happens when you're going live. And like I said, they were in the middle of, well, not in the middle, ended at 7. They were doing the screening of Aftershock, a Hulu documentary. They were doing that. Those are the type of things that they do. They try to bring community together. And this is something. Oh no, it's fine, Nitisha. Things happen. It's good. It's no problem. I'm not stressing. Early night. Yeah. At the end of the day, if you don't come on and see them, follow them, the Black Library, Facebook, Instagram, see what they're all about. Go visit their site, get a feel. I mean, it's pretty amazing. It's amazing what these young men did, how they're connected to the community, involved in the community. Letting them know I'm about to end it. Yeah, because I don't like to just have nothing going on. I don't like to just me talking to myself. Nobody's talking to me. They can't get on. So y'all see Bunky in rare form. This is Bunky in rare form. I want you guys too to be safe out there. Make sure you're safe. COVID is going around like crazy. COVID everywhere you look. So you guys be safe out there. Not just COVID. You got RSV. You got the flu. You got pneumonia. You got everything. So people, when you go in public places, wear your mask. I know people are against it, but you have people with compromised immune systems. You're going out there and then you're coming home. For those that have the large families, live with the elderly, or those who have compromised immune systems and you don't believe that you should wear a mask or whatever, you're going out in the community, I mean, the grocery stores or whatever. People have it. Nobody knows. You're coming home, you're bringing it to your family members, your loved ones, your co-workers or whatever, and you're jeopardizing it. Yes, please. She's a nurse. She's telling you she knows. So you guys just get your hand sanitizer, get your mask, have all these things, because this mess is crazy. Praying for, I didn't mention this either, praying for the countries that are at war. Everybody's always at war. The last days, praying for the war-ridden countries. Both sides. I mean, you can't just root for one side of this war and not the other one, because at the end of the day, innocent people are losing their lives. And for what? One side is telling one side of the story, another side is telling another side of the story. And in the beginning, I mean, in the middle is the truth. So you look at history, this is a long thing. People don't know what's going on unless you really live there. Unless you live there. So we're praying for the countries that are at war. We're praying for the African countries that are always at war. Nobody want to talk about it. This is a mess. Everybody be warm. We're in the Arctic freeze. Looks like a movie, but that's what we're doing right now. So you guys stay safe, stay warm. Yeah, I'm getting ready to end this. I'm totally getting ready to end this. You guys stay safe, stay warm. I apologize. That the show didn't go through, but like I said, things happen and it's okay. Make sure you tune in next week, though. Next week is going to be something. It's the final trilogy to my twins conversation. Like I said, I had the beginning with the little girls, Symphony and Harmony. Then I had Loretta and Rosetta, and now I have Donna's story, talking about her twin sister that is no longer here with us. Who knows what that is like? Nobody can fathom that if you're not a twin, because this woman was with her in the womb. So that's it. So that's next week, you guys. Make sure you tune in and watch that. I'm getting ready to call this show a night. You guys have a wonderful night. And once again, I apologize. But like I said, things happen. Things happen. But make sure you go and check out their venue. And it's look, I'm ending and they coming on. Look at this mess. Look here. I don't. All right, y'all still with me? Yes, y'all are.
I can't even see.
You can't now. You technical difficulties, y'all. Technical.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, I was about to end it. I did pretty good. I told them all about you. But told them all about you. But and I told them that you guys were busy. I told them about your screening. I told them about the rescheduling, technical difficulties. Hello.
Hi, I'm
How
so
are
sorry.
you?
We have been dealing with the gamut of things here today, and I'm just trying to get this back up to speed and locked in and ready to go. I apologize.
I'm good now. I'm not talking to myself, so I'm good now. I got people to talk to. And I told it was my fault last time. I told them that you guys were originally on in May, and I had technical difficulties, I believe, on my end. So I told them all about you. I told them about the sipping pain. I told them about open mic night. I told. So what do you guys want to tell? Tell us a little bit about you. I'm not rushing you now. Tell everybody. We're going to start with whoever wants to start first. Let's give a brief synopsis.
I mean, I don't even.
Who is who? So people know who is who.
So I'm DJ, one half of the co-program directors at the Black Library.
By default, that makes me Mike.
Yeah.
We are the co-program directors and co-founders of the Black Library. But again,
yeah. So I mean,
I know y'all are tired. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. We just a little bit flustered. We've literally been in meetings since like noon, and then we have a film screening going on the other side of our doors here right now in the space. So we were a little bit attentive towards that, and there were some technical difficulties on that end that I was just attending to, which was why I was even later. So we apologize, but yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, I told them about Aftershock, and I told them where they can catch it also.
Right.
It's a great documentary. It's really
it's very heavy. Absolutely.
That's a good word for it, heavy.
So I guess I don't even know where to start. I mean, so
all right, let me give you.
I'm an artist, painter, photographer, and just, one half of the team at the Black Library. Yeah, I guess that's a very short description of who I am.
Trust me, I gave them a long description of who you are. I totally went to your page and what was written, I totally read it. So they know, but they didn't know who was who. And I made sure to stress, Mike, that you're a Guyanese American.
Yes, ma'am.
I made sure I stressed that to them. But what is, I don't want to say what's important. Forget it. We're not even going to do it. Okay, so let's jump into this. What was the moment that sparked the idea for the Black Library? Let's start from there. What sparked the idea?
What sparked the idea was just kind of us hanging out in my old painting and photography studio. I had began amassing like a pretty large collection of, I shouldn't say pretty large. I was amassing a collection of Black literature, and that sparked a conversation between Mike and I. And that at the tail end of the conversation, we had talked about how it would be really cool if there was like a Black book club. And then from there, we were like, actually, it'd be cool if there was like an entire Black library that was dedicated to having Black literature. That was around like 2019, beginning of 2020. Obviously, like neither of us have, $500,000 to just, start the project back then. So
that's how much it cost to start it?
Yeah, the grant that we received was about $500,000.
Okay, go on.
We could use 500,000 more.
People can go to your page and do donations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go to your page.
Yep, we have portals on our site now for book donations, art supply donations, and monetary donations on our website. That is the phase that we're in, is the funding phase, so that we can continue the project past June of this year, June 29th, no, June 30th, 31st, something like that. The end of June is the end of our current grant period. So we'll be detaching from the Hurleyville Performing Arts Center, forming our own 501c3. And we'll essentially need, we'll probably need a little bit more than the grant that we got now, in order to successfully transition into being our own nonprofit and have continuity with the of our project. But yeah,
It would
So
allow
what
for
happens?
employees. That
What
helps.
happened?
I said that would allow for employees, and that's a big thing that we're trying to
yeah,
push for. Not only are our DJ and I kind of been spreading thinner as the days go by with this project. We're also, we would like to be a place that can offer employment to members of our community. There are people who are absolutely, in need of it, but also, can be a tremendous help. And I think that they should be compensated for their time and efforts for sure.
So what would happen if you don't get the money?
There is no version of the future in which we don't.
Yeah, 'cause I'm
we
like,
we have to. What it comes down to is,
yeah,
there's going to be a number of different ways where we can, attack that or facilitate for that, but
okay,
one of them has to fall through for the most part. Excuse me for just 1 second. I'm
okay,
sorry.
it's okay. So DJ, you're on the spot.
yeah.
So what is the core mission of the Black Library, and how do you infuse it into the community? What is
Yeah.
the mission?
So our core mission is essentially to really, I guess, like, I should be more specific to our mission, like currently, and then like our like global mission. But right now we're like a library and community art space that is aiming to educate and celebrate on Black history and culture, as well as really be a strong force of change within our community,
Okay.
and really act like a beacon, or like an incubator for local creative talent, help people, find careers in the arts, but not even just the arts, really. We just were at Monticello High School, and we talked to a ton of students. We were there from like 7 to 5. Probably talked to like a third of the entire school, and one thing that we like really let them know is like, hey, like, no matter what it is you want to do, like, yeah, we're both artists and have a lot of art based connections, but if you want to be an engineer, like, I have an engineer friend, or if you want to be an occupational therapist, like, we know somebody who does that. So it's kind of like acting as a space where people can like find and build connections with each other as well, so that people don't have to leave this community. Like, we want to try and be a space where we retain our talent rather than having all of our like local talent and local youth leave this area to find success, because that's one thing that's been a big issue for, I mean, since ever since I can remember, is just people leaving the area because they feel like they can't be successful here. So that's a huge thing for us. Is there's something Majora Carter had said that I'm kind of like blanking on. It's but it's essentially like build the community that you want to live in. You know what I mean?
Well, looking at your pictures and everything that's going on, it seems like your events are a success. Everyone seems, you see the laughing and the smile, all ages, like all ages of the community seem to
Yeah.
come through your thing. So
Yeah.
you have the various activities. How have these events been received by the community? And what do you have, like a memorable event? Like, what hit you? Like, one, how has this been received? And two, something that made you sit back, a memorable event that made you go, wow.
Yeah. Well, we had our events have been received extremely well. especially like the open mic. The open mic is super consistent. Um, we generally get it's slowed down a little bit because it's wintertime. We understand that
Mhm.
people don't want to come outside right now, so attendance has been like a little bit lower, but we generally get about 60 people in attendance for like
Oh,
every
wow.
single open mic.
Okay.
Yeah, the paint and sips are like 20 to 30 people, like pretty much every time. I missed last night's open or paint and sip, so I don't really know how well that was attended, but it seemed like it was attended pretty well from what
Mhm.
I've seen. And then even our educational workshops, artist talk, stuff like that gets like 15, 20 people. And I like that's pretty great for like an educational program. You know what I mean?
And what are you guys teaching in the educational program? What?
We've done a resume building workshop. We did our Black Agriculture Weekend, where we were teaching people how to start their own garden at home. They had gotten a bunch of takeaways. Like they got to take home plants, they got to take home seeds, got to take home a bunch of stuff like that. We had some local chefs come prepare meals with the food that they learned how to grow. Um, that was one that was really well received, well attended. Resume building workshop, like I said, we done grant workshops, um, and then we're working on doing more stuff in terms of education, like financial awareness kind of stuff.
Okay.
So yeah. Um,
Okay. So what was that moment? What what was that moment, memorable moment
mhm.
that stands out in your head?
Definitely more recently our opening reception for the resident artist group show.
Okay.
Um, it was I mean, it was just super heavily attended. I mean, there had to be like 150 or more people that came,
Oh wow.
just like people coming in and out.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I mean, there was like a consistent like 60 to 80 people in the space throughout basically the entire opening. So um, that stood out to me. I mean, I was like 5 minutes late. I went to go pick my mom up to bring her here, and I got here at 6:05, and there were all there was already like 50, 60 people here, and I'm just like, oh my god, like I don't even
Wow.
know what I just walked into.
So you wasn't expecting that,
um,
or were
not
you?
I guess I wasn't expecting so many people that early. I guess I
Okay.
expected it to be like people like trickle in over time.
Mhm.
Like a lot of our events, people trickle in over time.
Right.
But that one, I mean, it was just packed as soon as we opened.
Now you're seeing your reception because you're
Mhm.
seeing your dream a real coming a reality,
Mhm.
and you're seeing the reception because I'm sitting back and I'm watching it. I'm watching it. I'm not in it. I'm watching it, and it seems like people that know about you or whatever they're receiving you guys so good. Like everybody's really excited about this. Like, how
Mhm.
does that feel to know that you guys started this thing? This is your baby. How does that feel?
Honestly, like I haven't had too much of an opportunity to think about it. um, I mean, like it was like when we won the grant, I had a
Mhm.
moment like, wow, we're about to like really do this. And then kind of moments when I would get home while we were working on the space for the grand opening, I would have moments where I'll be like, wow, it's like we're about to actually open the space itself.
Mhm.
But I mean, we get so busy here, and then I have my daughter. She's 9 months old now, so it's just
Oh
like
God,
I
you got a lot going
yeah.
on.
So I like I go from here to then I go home, and then you know what I mean.
Uh-huh.
It's it's pretty tough to balance. Plus, I haven't been getting that much sleep.
You look tired, and I feel really bad. You look pretty tired right now, but that's because you guys have a lot going on. Now,
Yeah.
you guys got the Emerging Business Award of 2023,
Hmm.
Sullivan Caskill. How did what is that about? Well, we emerging business, but how do you go about getting nominated, or how did you feel when you got the word that you were nominated? Like, and then you won. Like, what is that like? I'm trying to get the vision because this is Sullivan County, and my opinion of it is pretty pretty bad.
I
It's pretty bad,
look.
you know.
I understand, and I understand because I went to school at Sullivan West. So
Lord,
you know, it's
for those that don't know, it's
I
a beautiful school. No, it's a beautiful, but for
oh yeah,
people of color, it's like a
it
lot
can
of
be
schools.
pretty rough.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Actually, funnily enough, I don't want to get too deep into it, but funnily
yeah, yeah.
enough, I actually had to um go there with the NAACP in order to not get expelled from that school. Um, because I was getting called the N word too much, and I was punching too
Too
many
much,
people in the face. So I was
too
just,
much, and you
you
was
know, it was
punching people.
which I was a kid, so of course, like I hear that, get called that, I'm gonna react that kind of way. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Especially
of course,
coming from the background that I came from, it's just like that's how things get handled sometimes. You know
right.
what I mean? So it was just kind of a thing of that nature. But yeah, I mean, some kid had called me that. We got into a pretty big fight, and then they tried to expel me, and I had to go there with the NAACP. They tried to make me do community service. They tried to make a whole bunch of stuff like that. And the other kid got like a 3-day suspension.
Yeah, 'cause I was about to ask you, well, what happened to the kid that initiated and started, who did it?
Yeah,
Nothing.
no, he got a 3-day suspension.
Got a 3-day suspension, but you was about to be put on pins,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, crazy. But
That's why it's a big deal, you guys that don't live in Sullivan County. That's why it's a big deal what they're doing. I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, um, but not to harp on that too much. But it's you know, winning that award. Like finding out we won that award was pretty cool. It was funny because I'm always pretty like monotone like this. So we had like got the phone call and the lady
Mhm.
was like, "Hey, like you guys won the emerging business award XYZ," and I'm like, "Oh wow, that's really cool. Wow, we really
I'm
appreciate it." And then she's like, "Oh, I thought you'd be more excited," and I'm like, "No, I am excited." So,
like,
but
I'm tired, lady, but I'm excited.
no,
Now,
it's
did
just
that come with a grant? Did that come with money for your
oh no,
visit?
no. But we got a lot of exposure from that
Right.
and being at the actual like award ceremony, we got to meet a lot of people. Um, so we really do appreciate that award and winning it was actually pretty great for us, I think, and it kind of just shows us that a lot of people support what we're doing.
Yeah.
A lot of people see the hard work that we're putting in and appreciate that work that we're doing and want to make sure that we're supported and that we're recognized. So, um, it really meant a lot to us to win that award.
Yeah, that's a big deal. And
Mhm.
congratulations to you guys on your hard work because you are working hard. And the powers that be see you.
Yeah.
People see you. Now, your programs and all of that, who comes up with that? Do you guys sit down and brainstorm, or do you have a
Hmm.
committee? Who comes up with these
Yeah.
things?
I mean, yeah, we come up with them for the most part.
That's the
With the
two of you?
program. Yeah, yeah. And then we have sometimes we get suggestions like the the screening tonight was brought to us by MISN,
Mhm.
and of course it aligns perfectly with our mission and what we do here. So of course we agreed to that. So there are some things where people come to us and are like, hey, can we do this out the space? Can we do that out the space? And then it'll kind of just be us hosting something.
Mhm.
But the things that we put on ourselves is pretty much me and Mike coming up with the ideas for the programming and executing. But of course, we get stuff from like Malik, one of our resident artists. Malik comes to us with a lot of ideas
There's
and
also a previous guest, you guys. Go back and watch
yeah,
that show.
yeah. So we definitely get have people come bring us ideas as well. So
Okay. All right. Um, you talked about the people come up to use the space. Like, do you guys rent out the space or do they just sign up? Like, are you guys making some sort of not profit, but something to go back into feed these people and host all these things? Because these things aren't free. Sip and paint, you got to buy the stuff. Like,
Right.
do they like? How does that work? Do they pay
Yeah.
for that?
Well, we were doing like for the paint sip for a while we were doing suggested donations. Unfortunately, we have to transition to it just kind of being a paid event. The paint
I'm
sip
sure we'll
specifically.
probably donate $1.
Yeah, you know, it's just because it that specifically costs so much to run. Like
Mhm.
sometimes we'll have to go out and get like $300 worth of stuff, but sometimes it's just like $100 worth of stuff. But it's like it costs so much that we can't keep running that one for free. Of course, like open mic and stuff will always be free, and people having like residencies here will be free, of course. But we do rent out the space, though. We rent out the meeting room, which is what we're in now. We rent out the main floor, and we'll rent out the photo studio. For an event like this, we're not like renting out the space because it's like an educational screening.
Okay.
But if it is something that needs the space to be shut down so it can run to where we're not operating during that time, or people can't come in at that time, or it would take the place of like a program, then we would like charge for that. Or if somebody comes to us with a program where they want to charge, like
Mhm.
it might be educational, but they want to charge for that program, then we would have to charge as well. In that case, you know what I mean? So
That's only fair,
yeah,
like they're using your electric, you got to pay for that.
yeah,
Now, I had Shanita on. I don't know if you're involved in that. The It's
yeah,
Genetics
yeah.
project that she's.
hmm
So,
Well, we're like housing it, but me and Mike
yeah.
and I haven't been involved in the process too much.
Okay. Because I was gonna ask how are you guys involved with that, and like, does she
Mhm.
meet with you guys to get that
We
started?
yeah, she's came a few times. Her and I are actually cousins. So
Really?
which is what the project is about.
Yeah. Y'all
So
are real cousins, like real cousins.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Because we were talking about that. You know how people be like, "Oh, that's my cousin, that's my uncle," and
Oh yeah.
they're really not.
Oh, her and
Really.
I, we mean it when we say it because we related to everybody in Sullivan
Oh yeah.
County.
Yeah.
It's yeah. It's funny too because I look how I look, so it's like a thing of people not really knowing if I'm actually related to all these people around, but it's like, um I'm
If you're
related to
from
some
here,
people. Yeah.
people should know if you're from here, everybody's connected. Everybody is connected
Yeah.
somehow, you know. And I think that this genetics project is going to be amazing. At first, I was a little iffy because I'm thinking genetics, DNA, blood, and all that stuff until she
Yeah.
explained it on the show. And I was like, oh, wow, that sounds like it's going to be a great project.
Yeah. No,
So
it is. I mean, and I think it's needed, something
it
that's
is,
like necessary in this area.
it is, it's needed. It sounds amazing that people go
Mhm.
back and watch that show. Um, Now, with your to be involved in your sip and paints and your open mic, like how do people?
Mhm.
Is there a list? Do they sign up? Do they come in and sign up, or do they just show up?
Yeah. Um, it's preferred for people to sign up in advance for the sip and paints. There's like a link on the website for people to kind of RSVP, and then open mics people can just show up. People can just show up to perform. People can just show up to watch. And then as with like most of our events, people can kind of just show up to them
Right.
to participate. Um, we are having a fashion show though on February 17th, I want to say, and that one I think will be our first like ticketed event.
Mhm.
Because that one is going to be, this might be the announcement. I don't think we, well,
You're not
oh,
gonna get in trouble, right? Were you
no, no,
supposed to
no,
tell
no,
that?
no, no.
Okay.
No, I just realized we have been putting out calls for like models and
Okay.
things like that. So it is kind of pseudo announced in that regard. But
No, go
um,
ahead. Take
yeah,
time.
that one is going to be like a fashion show slash like a fundraising gala. So we're thinking that we're gonna do probably ticketing for that. But
Okay.
for the most part, people can just show up to all our events, and we'll announce how that is going to work for the fashion show. But
Mhm.
for the most part, all of our events are just kind of like show up and participate.
What type of fashion?
They're all of them are local designers.
Oh,
They
okay.
all do different things. The majority of them are working out of our space like every day, actually. Whether it be crocheting or like sewing things together. But they're like in the Black Library every day working. Um,
Okay.
because that is a thing for us, is making sure that we're a space that's open so that people can just come in and have a space to actually work on their craft. And that was kind of what birthed the idea of the fashion show, was to highlight the people that come in here every day and are working on their craft every day, because we had the opening for our art, for our artists, for our resident
Mhm.
artists. So we wanted something that would highlight the other artists that are also in here working every day as well, but they're just working on clothing and stuff like that. But yeah, multiple crochet artists. Eli does like streetwear. Darius does like streetwear. I don't know how to describe what Sam does really. She does like crocheted tops, crocheted hats, jewelry, like a bunch of like beaded jewelry and stuff like that.
Okay.
Um, Dara sews things together and is like I don't know how to describe Dara
A
stuff.
seamstress,
Like
cut and sew
seamstress.
artist.
Yeah.
So mainly most of the fashion artists are cut and sew or graphic designers that impose their work onto t-shirts or sweatshirts, things of that nature. So
Mhm.
um, yeah, within the cut and sew or just kind of like streetwear sphere of things. But even the crochet artists kind of have like a bit of edge to them, if you will. It's like it's not what you would typically expect when it comes to what you would see in crochet work,
That
especially
sounds interesting.
these are young people doing it. So
Yeah.
you're not really
It's a
seeing
twist.
too
Yes.
many people under the age of 25 that are
Very
well
cool.
versed in that discipline.
Let me ask you, Mike, since you just got back. I already asked DJ. Do you have a memorable time where you sat back? Look, I was just sharing a memorable time where you're sitting back and you're looking at the work you guys done, and you were like, like this is it. Like this solidified it for you. Like that aha moment. What was that moment? Did you have one of those that you can share? I'm sure y'all did. When you're not tired, when you're not, when you can sit back and enjoy it.
Um, to be honest, I don't know if we had that moment yet, where we were not tired and got to kind of sit back. We haven't really taken like any breaks or anything of that nature. Like since opening, it's been what's next
Go.
and looking at what's next. So we haven't had a lot of time to really reflect, and
Mhm.
it's healthy that we do that. I think we should do that at some point. Um,
What,
but
take a
times
minute
where
to yourselves?
yeah,
Take
for
a
sure. I
break?
think
Oh,
times
yeah.
where we came close to that. It wasn't necessarily us having a moment about it, but it was something that we shared with other people. I think the open reception for our gallery show right now was definitely one of those times where we got to kind of stop and look around and see the result of some of the work that we've been putting in the past couple of months, and
Mhm.
the attention to that. I think when we were granted the award by the Visitor Association, that was also one of those moments where we kind of got to just stop and give ourselves a little pat on the back, as well as I would say, uh, damn, there was one thing that just came to mind that I was
Was it the award?
not the award. There was something else that I think was like a cool moment to kind of share with people. But yeah, I guess not really that important. But yeah, we didn't really have much time to really sit and converse or reflect about it, because again, everything has been towards looking at the future. But yeah, definitely those 2 days we got to kind of share on like deeper level what we've been doing with the community, and I think that that's been cool.
And you guys are open every day except for Monday.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all sounded really good and it looked pretty okay on paper.
I was going to ask,
You
did you
know,
think about that before?
we were just excited to do this, and we still are. You know, it's we got a little bit of a dosage of reality and what that looks like as far as exertion of energy and time and efforts making something like this happen. But
Mhm.
you know, I don't think either of us rather do anything else with our time right now. Um, and just seeing the growth that's been had under the roof here has been amazing. You know, that's been well worth anything that we've had to put out to make it happen. You know, artists selling work and increasing their their technical ability and their outreach to the community and their target markets. You know, all of these things have been progressing since the opening of this place, and I think that that's like the biggest compliment for anything is what we've been able to do for other people as opposed to ourselves.
Looking at what you guys have done for the community, I'm just in awe to see all the young people involved. Like I honestly did not know that it was like that. I knew something like this was needed, but I had no idea until people look at your pictures and you see what you're doing, like the young people, the painting and the sipping paints, and like some of your pictures from your mic night. Like these people are into it. They are like really here for it. They really are. And it's not a club, which is a great thing to see. It's not that type of atmosphere. So to see the drawing, the crowd come in, and it's not that type of setting, I
Right.
commend you guys. Like I really, really do. I didn't know where you guys were going at first. Like hearing it, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with this, but you guys had a vision, put
Right.
it down, and you brought that thing to life. Um, what advice would you give others who want to start a community focused initiative like the Black Library? Like what type of advice would you give somebody who wants to do something like this? Would you say, don't think so big, bring it down, start small? Like what would you, but there's two of you guys and you have your circle helping you. So that's great that you have a support. But what advice would you give someone who has an idea? Because that's where it started, from an idea, a
Right.
conversation.
Yeah. Um, I mean, it's really hard because um, there's like almost like an element of kind of just being like fortunate, or I'm trying to avoid using the word lucky. You know what I mean? And it's pretty tough. Like you would really just have to try and see what grants are out there, see what kind of funding is out there. Basically, if you're just starting with just the idea, you kind of have to map that idea out,
Mhm.
map it out exactly how you want it to be. Um, like that was the early stages for us was developing our mission statement, and kind of creating this chart that we had made called the positive cycle of change. So it's like a 3-stage thing, um, kind of like identifying local leaders, introducing people to them, introducing a bunch of educational programming, and then into moving that into stage 2. I'm kind of like forgetting exactly what was there. I don't have it in front of me. Um, but
That
yeah,
cycle
you
would
kind of just,
essentially,
yeah.
we would introduce these concepts and ideologies of change, um, as well as identify, like DJ said, the members of the community that would be instrumental in enacting this change, as well as inspiring others to do, better in general. And being a place that connects these people with the people that need it, and in turn creating future leaders in doing so.
Right.
So you know. I'm sorry, I'm digressing a bit from what DJ was explaining, but a big thing for this program in its inception, and quite frankly, I believe we expressed this pretty vividly to our grand tours in the um, application process when we sat down and had our interviews. We didn't have examples of people like us growing up. I can be, frank and tell you the kind of people that I looked up to when I was 15 or 16 during these developmental years. They weren't, obviously the most savory characters or people that were probably going to be the most, motivational or beneficial for you to be looking up to as a young adult,
Right.
especially, just steps away from entering the world, as a legal adult, somebody that is stepping into the world and finding their own identity and self of somebodyness. So we didn't have examples of that, quite frankly. I didn't know of a young black artist from this area that was, setting out to do anything bigger than the village, or anybody that, I didn't know a photographer that I could have looked up to or called and asked the question. And I believe that, us being these people now, not only that, but connecting, the younger generation with a number of people who are like us that can answer these questions and point them in the right directions and give them the advice that they might need to take the next step into their careers or into their professionalism isn't extremely imperative, and it cannot be pushed enough that we need um, more of that, and more people that can, kind of lead the way and guide the next generation with, intentions of positivity and intentions of actually uplifting our culture and our people as a whole, and progressing, as opposed to, some of the things that the media kind of pushes for our people, and
Right.
popular culture would like to see us in the place of, which isn't correct. And it may be the message as that might be um, what's cool or what's visually appealing to people, but the things that we see, for our people, that's being pushed in the media in some cases, isn't necessarily what's best for us. And somebody should really take a stance against that and educate people um, on that for sure.
And y'all are doing it. Y'all are
We're trying.
showing example. No, you are. And like you said, I didn't know um artists that you can go to like outside. Like I mentioned my cousin, but like he's the only artist that I knew that kind of took it serious for a minute. And photographers that would go and feed into young photographers who want to know to get the right angle and different things like that. So no, so I appreciate you. So whoever has it, I applaud you guys, for that. Thank you so much. Um, okay. So we're gonna get a wrap up. But before we do you have any final messages for the listeners? And remind them where they where they can connect to you guys in person, online or in person. So any final words, and how can people connect and catch up with you guys from the Black Library?
I'm gonna start by saying I'm sorry, because I was not as present as I would have loved to be for
No,
that.
you guys, I
I
mentioned it
apologize.
like 15 times. You had a screening. I
I
wanted to
apologize.
reschedule. You guys were like, no, we got it. I'm like, okay,
We we're gonna
but
we're gonna follow up with a part two for sure. We're gonna do
this is really part 3. I messed up
part three.
part 1, remember?
Hey, so we kind of even now. We're gonna
We
go
kind of
for
even.
we're gonna go for a solid part three where there's no issues whatsoever. But
Right.
we'll have some more development from there. We'll have some more to talk about at that point. But
And hopefully I'll do it in person.
that would
But you know
that
what?
would be great.
Just listen. I mentioned it. Y'all weren't on. I'm gonna tell y'all, be careful out there because this COVID is going
Hmm.
bananas out here in Sullivan County. It's going
Yeah,
crazy. So you guys just be trying really not to do in person stuff. So,
we
I'm still
usually got
scared.
some sanitizer within hand arm's length over here. But as a final word, I guess for this on my end, I think that well, first off, thank you for allowing us this time and giving us this
Thank you.
platform. That is greatly appreciated on our
Thank you.
end. You know, any way that we can connect with people is greatly appreciated, and we know how important your platform is to people out here, and how how popular this has become amongst the community. So, you know,
Yeah, it's
it's an honor
crazy.
for us to be here.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. And you know, if there's any questions, concerns, comments, inquiries regarding you know, DJ and I personally or the project. If you have any questions or concerns about your own professional development, if you know, are a painter and want to connect with more painters, if you're a photographer and would like to connect with more photographers, that, you know, despite whatever field you may be in, come see us. You know, if we can't help ourselves personally, we can definitely connect you or point you in a direction of people that can. And I think that that's what this project is, you know, has been really about as well. Is creating that kind of plane of connectivity between other artists, artisan businesses, and then organizations, especially, you know, arts forward organizations. You know, um, we have close to 1,000 books. We're getting ready to cross the 1,000 book line. We will make a public announcement when we do, because this is all through the help of the community. And
But you mentioned the books, and I saw that you take Black authors.
yes, man.
Now, because I'm going to clean out my closet. I was looking at the closet. I'm like, I really need to get rid of these books.
Bring them
I don't
over.
believe in throwing books away at all. I don't believe you don't throw a book away. And they're Black
Absolutely.
authors. They're like novels, kind of, but they're Eric Jerome Dickey, people like that. Like, do you take?
Mhm.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Absolutely.
want to throw them out. So that's why I'm
Yeah,
holding on to them. I don't want them, but I don't.
we are strictly against that as well.
Okay.
Even if, you know, you have a book donation, you know, we're trying to slow up on this because we got a lot to do these days. But you know, there's been people that has given us donations of, you know, hundreds of books that didn't necessarily fit within the scope of our space well, but you know, we would pass it on to other people or bring it to the Read It Again bookstore here in town.
Okay.
You know, we find ways to keep these stories and the literature alive. You know,
Okay.
a dumpster is not a good place for a book.
No.
Not at all.
No.
But if DJ wanted to share any final departing words,
Yeah.
Where can they find you?
here, I personally, I am here a lot. Outside of that, we are on social media. We both have our personal pages that you can find through the Black Library New York page. I would suggest strongly that you start there and work your way around. But I'm going to plug that first. The Black Library NY on Instagram, and I believe that connects to our Facebook page as well.
Oh,
And
okay. Yeah, it does.
And
blacklibraryny.com.
Yep.
Is our website. Yeah, I don't know. Final words. Thank you. Appreciate you having us on again.
Thank you.
It's been great. It feels like it was really short, but we were super late, so maybe that's what it was. But yeah, I guess if people want to check out what we have going on or reach out to us, we're in the space like all the time. And obviously we have our Instagram, the Black Library NY website, links to our email, or you can send us emails through the website. But I guess I just want to hammer home, you know, we got like about 5 months left in our grant period. And we are definitely in fundraiser mode. We're about to start ramping up on fundraising. And
Yes.
yeah, like anything helps. $1 helps, $10, like anything helps. Books help.
Anything.
Literally anything that people can donate to us will be greatly appreciated. We've loved how this project has turned out so far. It is literally just the beginning. The community response has been incredible. So we know that the community wants us here and wants this project to be alive and thriving. And in order for it to continue thriving past 2024, we just have to really start hitting our fundraising goals. So anything that anybody can do really helps us, helps the project, and then in turn helps the community.
I mean, as much as like, you know, purchasing one of these very nice, soft,
Black.
finely crafted hoodies. That
Is that on your
helps.
webpage?
90% cotton. We try not to do that polyester thing.
We do have a link for this online as well, right?
We have a link for the Fred Hampton special edition ones.
So we're doing a special hoodie every month for the remainder of the year. We started last month technically as kind of a promo, and we started with a Fred Hampton graphic, and we released it on December 9th, which was the anniversary of his funeral 54 years ago.
Who is it?
Fred Hampton was the chairman of the Chicago chapter's Black Panther Party. He was.
I should know that, right?
he was actually, I believe, just 23 or 24 at the time of his death. One of the youngest influential leaders in the country at that time, and was assassinated by the Chicago Police Department in conjunction with the FBI as a part of a COINTELPRO operation that was seeing the demise of obviously many of our leaders at that time. Fred was poisoned by one of his party members at the time that was close to him, that was working with the FBI. This whole thing was kind of depicted in the recent film Judas and the Black Messiah. It came out a couple years ago. Really good film starring Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield, who is starring in the Book of Clarence right now. But
we're not getting paid to show.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to be as intently informational about this as possible. I saw writing it down. I just wanted to paint the picture. But no, yeah.
Imagine if we had that sponsorship.
That it would be cool.
Talk about fundraising.
Well, that's how we get there. The shameless plugs. So yeah, that film was depicted a lot of the story that was had there. There's a book that we have in the space here that even more deeply explains the story of Fred Hampton and his assassination. But we just wanted to honor his memory in doing that. We started that in December. Our January graphic, where it's kind of looking like we're going to be releasing them towards the end of the month. These at this point. The January graphic is going to go up, I believe, at the end of this week, and February's we're designing right now. So every month there'll be a different hoodie graphic. You can always get the original motif, just the Black Library typeface, and yeah, all of those proceeds are funneled back into the space and put back into keep our programming afloat and stock our supplies for people to come in and use and things of that nature.
Yeah, none of the money from merch or anything like that goes back to us.
We are not looking to profit off of any of this in any way, shape, or form. Just keep what we got going on. That's all.
All of it goes right back into the project. So,
did you guys have anything special for next month, Black History Month?
Absolutely. There's a few things that we've been talking about. We probably cannot announce it at this very moment, but yeah, there's a few things that we've been talking about for sure. So stay tuned, stay plugged in with the Instagram, and on the website. We always have our calendar events up there as well.
And I miss everything because I don't know. I don't see anybody's stuff, so I don't know what's going on ever. I really don't. I'll be like, wait, let me just go check and see. That's the only way I know.
You're a busy lady. We completely understand. Whenever you do get here, you'll be right here on time for sure.
I did come, but it was too early. Yesterday, I was in Monticello, and I was like, let me stop by. Just before I knew the hours were 11. It was like 10. It was not even 10:30, almost 10:30. I was like, oh, man. But I had to leave. But I'll catch you.
We'll make it happen one day for sure.
I'll catch it. It's just, but y'all be careful with the masks and stuff. Wear them. Make some Black Library masks.
I think we got to get that branded for sure.
Covers. Don't kids use book covers for school?
That's a good question. I don't know if kids even use books for school these days. But
Black Library book covers, though. Huh?
You do a iPad or laptop cover.
Yeah,
That'll
a
be
sleeve.
same intent for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just thinking. I don't know. Okay.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be pretty awesome. That would be awesome. Wait, let me see. Before I go, we all share the events on. Okay, so you and the Tweed, y'all all share events, bookmarks, laptop holders. See, people got ideas. People got
Yes.
ideas.
Yep. And we gonna make it happen. Just make sure you
But
remember them.
Right, for your books, people are coming there for books. You got to have the bookmarks.
Absolutely.
T-shirt, that's really good. I love it. So, anything to help. Listen, if you have anything, like send me a message. Be like, look, can you share this? Like, just send me, because otherwise I'm really going to miss it. And I really want people to, I want to see the Black Library on that corner for years.
Thank you so much. And we'll have some promo to send for you for sure.
Okay, yeah, just send it to me, and
I'll.
Otherwise, I'm gonna miss it, and I can't share it. Okay.
Sounds
Alrighty,
good.
guys. All right.
Thank you for your time again.
Thank you, and I'm sorry, y'all. I was right about to end it. I'm like, let me hold, and then y'all popped on. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for believing in us. I appreciate that.
I believe in you. I think you guys are wonderful. So you guys, make sure you go to the Black Library, 418 Broadway, Monticello, New York. The Black Library, NewYork.com. You can find them on Facebook and Instagram to know more about them. Remember to tune in next week. It's the final part of my twin series trilogy. Y'all missed that. I had this conversation with little twins. They were 11. And then I had, Loretta and Rosetta. Loretta and Rosetta?
Yeah.
Pearson McNeil Davis, he's not old. She went Barbara, whatever. His wife is an identical twin. So they're like the middle age, like sickness and, twin. And then next Thursday, I have my final one when you lose a twin. But you guys got stuff going on anyway. So
I'm interested in that for sure.
Yes, that's going to be heavy.
I have a friend that went through that recently. So that would be interesting. And I know that there's a lot of really personal neurological connections that are had and are lost in that. Yeah. It's really deep. That's heavy. I would love to see that actually.
Yeah, that's no other bond, like any bond on earth. I mean, like identical twins, like nobody's closer to you. So
I'm sorry. I don't mean to keep plugging movies and documentaries.
No, it's all right. Because when you I'm writing them down so I can see them.
Did you see the story about the triplets? It's a story about these triplets that had no idea that they had brothers. It was a gentleman that found out he had a twin after his first day at school over at SUNY Sullivan back in the 70s or the 80s. I think this happened. There's a documentary about it right now. It's really interesting. I urge you watch it before your next podcast installment, because that might give you some
ideas,
some insight and ideas. Yeah, for sure.
Is it on YouTube?
I believe it's on Hulu, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. But and
I don't know why that sounds familiar. That sounds. I probably didn't see the story, but I probably heard about it.
It was a huge story back in the 80s and 90s. These people actually, the triplets that they mentioned actually were, they received a lot of fame because of it. They had restaurants and they were in movies and all sorts of things. So they were like kind of a big thing back in the late 80s, early 90s because of it. But there's a whole story that's attached to us that gets really deep. Interestingly enough, it all starts in SUNY Sullivan. Starts right here in Sullivan County. So
look at it. I got on my Sullivan sweatshirt.
repping proud for sure.
Yeah. Look at that. All right. So it was ordained to have that conversation.
Absolutely.
Well, look, I'm gonna let you guys go get some rest because you look so tired. You look like you're about to fall over. So y'all go get some rest. And thank you so much again for taking the time out. I appreciate you.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
And much luck, blessings, continued blessings.
And likewise.
And being the examples that you are.
Thank you. Likewise. For
Good
sure.
night, you